Ladies and gentlemen, being an attractive woman often comes with a unique set of challenges that many do not openly discuss. Society tends to focus on the external beauty of women, often assuming that physical attractiveness guarantees an easier life filled with admiration and privilege. However, the reality is far more complex. The more attractive a woman is, the more she is likely to face pressures and struggles that impact her emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Understanding these challenges and responding to them with faith, resilience, and self-awareness is essential for true empowerment and growth. Attractiveness can create heightened expectations from others. People may project ideals onto an attractive woman that have little to do with who she really is. She may be expected to always look perfect, behave a certain way, or fulfill roles that society deems appropriate. This external pressure can lead to feelings of being misunderstood or even isolated, as others may value her appearance more than her true character or inner qualities. It becomes a heavy burden when her worth is measured predominantly by looks rather than by her heart, mind, or spirit. Moreover, attractive women often face jealousy and insecurity from others, which can create toxic relationships or social environments. Instead of being celebrated for their unique beauty and talents, they may become targets of envy, gossip, or exclusion. This hostility can chip away at self-esteem, causing emotional wounds that require deep healing. It's here that faith and divine healing become vital, helping women reclaim their self-worth and find peace beyond the judgments and opinions of others. Attractiveness also tends to attract unwanted attention, which can range from flattering to frightening. An attractive woman might experience invasions of privacy, unsolicited advances, or objectification that diminish her sense of safety and dignity. These experiences can lead to anxiety, fear, or mistrust in relationships. Through faith and spiritual grounding, she can develop the strength to set boundaries, protect her heart, and heal from any trauma caused by such encounters. Another significant challenge lies in navigating the balance between external beauty and inner growth. Sometimes, focusing too much on appearance can overshadow the pursuit of personal development, emotional maturity, or spiritual enlightenment. However, true beauty emerges from a harmonious blend of outer grace and inner depth. Faith-driven women understand that their divine worth transcends physical appearance, allowing them to cultivate qualities like compassion, resilience, and wisdom that attract others in meaningful ways. In many ways, the journey of an attractive woman mirrors a deeper spiritual path, a call to awaken to her true self beyond the surface. By embracing challenges with courage and turning to divine healing, she can transform struggles into stepping stones for growth. She learns to see herself as whole and worthy, not because of fleeting beauty, but because of her unique soul's purpose. This awakening leads to greater authenticity, where she no longer needs to prove her value to anyone but God and herself. Real-life examples abound of women who have faced these struggles yet rose above them with faith and resilience. Consider a woman who once battled feelings of loneliness despite being admired by many, only to find healing through surrendering her pain to God. Or another who was objectified and dismissed, but chose to channel her energy into spiritual growth and community service, becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration. These stories remind us that attractiveness is not a curse but an opportunity to impact the world through a heart healed by divine grace. For every attractive woman watching, remember this: your worth is not defined by how others see you, but by the divine light within you. The challenges you face are not to break you, but to refine you, making your spirit stronger and your faith deeper. When you embrace these struggles as part of your sacred journey, you step into a power that no external force can take away. Today is your call to action. Lean into your faith, seek divine healing, and rise resilient. Let go of the need to meet others' expectations and embrace your authentic self. In doing so, you will not only overcome the challenges that come with attractiveness, but also inspire others to find their own light amidst life's storms. Your beauty, inside and out, is a testament to the divine power that created you. Stand tall, speak your truth, and shine unapologetically. Attractiveness often brings admiration and attention, but beneath the surface lies a deeper truth. True beauty is inseparable from inner strength. For many women who are considered very attractive, there is an unspoken journey of cultivating resilience, self-awareness, and emotional fortitude that accompanies their external appearance. The more attractive a woman is, the more she is likely to realize that inner strength is essential, not only to navigate the world's perceptions, but to live a life of authenticity, purpose, and peace. The physical beauty can open doors, but it can also invite scrutiny, judgment, and unrealistic expectations. Society often places attractive women on a pedestal, projecting ideals that can feel limiting or superficial. This external pressure can become a source of emotional challenge, making it easy to lose oneself in trying to meet others' standards. It is in these moments that inner strength becomes a vital anchor, allowing a woman to stay grounded in her true self and values rather than being swept away by external validation or criticism. Inner strength is cultivated through the experiences that shape character, times of struggle, moments of doubt, and the courage to face fears. Attractive women may encounter envy or misunderstanding from peers, which can lead to feelings of isolation. Yet, these experiences offer opportunities to develop empathy, patience, and emotional intelligence. Instead of being defined solely by outward appearance, a woman's strength shines when she learns to embrace her imperfections, confront her vulnerabilities, and transform pain into growth. Moreover, inner strength empowers a woman to establish healthy boundaries. Attractive women often face unwanted attention or pressure to conform to certain roles, which can threaten their sense of autonomy. With inner resilience, she can say no without guilt, protect her emotional well-being, and prioritize her spiritual and mental health. This confidence in boundaries is an expression of self-love, a profound recognition that her value extends far beyond how she looks. The connection between inner strength and beauty is also spiritual. True beauty radiates from a heart that is at peace, a mind that is clear, and a soul that is aligned with purpose. Women who nurture their spiritual selves through faith, prayer, meditation, or reflection find a source of strength that transcends external circumstances. This divine connection brings healing from past wounds and inspires a graceful confidence that no criticism or challenge can diminish. Real-life stories illuminate this truth. Consider the woman who once struggled under the weight of others' expectations, but found liberation through faith and self-acceptance. Her journey toward inner strength transformed not only how she saw herself, but also how she related to the world. She began to attract genuine relationships rooted in respect and love, no longer chasing superficial approval, but embodying a beauty that was authentic and lasting. Inner strength also fuels personal growth and resilience. Attractive women who develop this quality understand that setbacks are not failures but lessons. They embrace challenges with courage and patience, knowing that each experience is an opportunity to deepen their wisdom and compassion. This mindset creates a powerful cycle. The stronger the inner spirit, the more radiant the outer beauty becomes. For every attractive woman feeling overwhelmed by the pressures of beauty, the message is clear: your greatest power lies within. Cultivate your inner strength by embracing vulnerability, seeking spiritual nourishment, and standing firm in your truth. When you do, you will not only withstand the storms of life, but also shine with a beauty that inspires others. Today is an invitation to honor your inner strength as the foundation of your beauty. Let it be the light that guides you through challenges, the shield that protects your heart, and the source of your most authentic self-expression. In nurturing this strength, you embody a beauty that is truly unstoppable, a beauty that touches lives and transforms the world. Faith and female resilience are powerful forces that, when united, create a foundation unshakable by the world's judgments, pressures, or expectations. The statement, "the more attractive a woman is, the more she is likely to," often trails into assumptions about privilege or ease, but the deeper truth is more complex. In many cases, the more beautiful a woman is perceived to be, the more she must lean on faith and resilience to maintain her identity, inner peace, and spiritual grounding in a world that tries to define her by appearance alone. Attractive women often navigate a paradox. Society praises them outwardly, but may simultaneously question their depth, intelligence, or intentions. This duality can lead to emotional exhaustion, disillusionment, or even self-doubt. That is where faith becomes a sustaining force. Faith reminds her that her worth is not measured by fleeting admiration or shallow commentary. It grounds her in the truth that she was created with divine intention, not just to be seen but to impact, inspire, and lead. A woman of faith learns that resilience is not about having a hard shell or pretending everything is fine. Resilience is about rising with grace after being misunderstood, misjudged, or mistreated. It's about keeping her heart soft in a harsh world. And for many women, especially those constantly seen through the lens of physical beauty, this kind of resilience is necessary. With every compliment comes the risk of being reduced to a surface, but with faith, she learns to elevate her identity beyond skin deep. Consider the stories of women who have faced betrayal, envy, or exploitation, not because of any fault of their own, but because their beauty stirred something in others, be it admiration, insecurity, or control. These women often find themselves in positions where their character is tested and their spirit is strained. Yet, those who hold on to their faith rise. They turn to prayer when they feel alone. They anchor their identity not in mirrors or opinions, but in the unwavering love of God. True female resilience isn't loud. It doesn't always come with grand declarations or outward shows of strength. Sometimes it looks like a woman walking away from a toxic relationship, choosing peace over chaos. Sometimes it's seen in her choosing to forgive when others expect her to hate. Sometimes it's in her choosing purpose over popularity, calling over comfort, and it is always fueled by faith. An attractive woman with faith knows she is more than a body. She is a soul with a mission. Her beauty is not a currency to trade but a gift to steward. Her resilience is not born of pride but of surrender to a higher plan, a greater love, and a deeper truth. When trials come, and they will, she does not collapse under the weight of expectation. She stands not in her own power, but in the power of the Spirit who strengthens her. To the women listening, you are not too much. You are not here to apologize for your presence. You are here to rise, to speak, to love deeply, and to live boldly. Let your faith be your compass and your resilience be your shield. Don't let the world's shallow interpretations define your worth. Instead, let your life be a testimony of how divine beauty and inner strength walk hand in hand. You were not created to shrink in the presence of others' discomfort. You were born to shine with a light that is both beautiful and unbreakable. Stand tall, believe boldly, rise faithfully, and let the world see the power of a woman whose beauty is matched only by her faith-driven resilience. Divine healing for women is not just about physical restoration. It's about the complete renewal of the heart, mind, and spirit. In today's world, where a woman's attractiveness often becomes both her crown and her burden, divine healing becomes essential for restoring identity, purpose, and inner peace. When the statement, "The more attractive a woman is, the more she is likely to," is heard, it often trails into assumptions about her being envied, misunderstood, objectified, or even harmed. This path can leave deep emotional and spiritual wounds that only divine healing can truly mend. Attractiveness, while a gift, can sometimes feel like a silent battle. Women who are seen as beautiful often experience a unique kind of pressure. They are praised for their looks but rarely seen for their soul. They are offered attention, but not always respect. They are assumed to be confident, yet few notice the insecurities they wrestle with in private. These women may carry wounds that come from being judged, used, or never truly known. This is where divine healing enters, not as a concept, but as a living, breathing encounter with God's love. Divine healing for women is about reclaiming the truth that your value is not dependent on how others see you, but on how God sees you. And He sees you as His beloved, fearfully and wonderfully made with purpose, strength, and dignity. When you've been wounded by betrayal, envy, manipulation, or emptiness despite being admired, divine healing steps in to whisper a new narrative. You are more than what meets the eye. You are my daughter. You are whole. Healing begins when a woman surrenders her pain, not to the world but to the Creator who designed her. It happens when she says, "Lord, I feel broken even though I appear flawless. Heal me where no one sees." And in that moment of vulnerability, divine power begins to work. Shame dissolves. The bitterness releases. Clarity replaces confusion, and the peace that surpasses understanding begins to guard her heart. Consider a woman who has been judged only by her beauty. Maybe she's felt like her voice didn't matter, or that her purpose ended at appearances. She might have tried to fit into molds just to feel accepted, but when divine healing touches her life, she stops trying to prove anything. She begins to walk in a quiet strength, a sacred confidence. She no longer seeks validation from fleeting glances, but from the eternal gaze of a loving God. This healing doesn't make her less attractive. It makes her radiant. It's not just outer beauty anymore. It's a glow that comes from within. It's in the way she smiles with grace, walks with faith, and speaks with wisdom. She is no longer defined by how others use her image, but by how God uses her life. To every woman listening, your attractiveness is not a curse, but it is a call to seek deeper roots. Let divine healing restore what the world tried to distort. Let it heal your memories, your heart ashes, your broken expectations. Let it remind you that you were made for more than admiration. You were made for transformation. There is healing available for every woman who feels unseen behind her beauty. There is hope for every soul that's been worn down by false assumptions. Step into the light of divine healing. Speak the word "Lord." Let the power of faith restore your identity. You are not just beautiful. You are whole, strong, loved, and redeemed. Beauty beyond appearance speaks to a deeper truth that every woman must eventually discover, that her true value is not confined to the physical realm. In a world that often fixates on outward allure, the most attractive women frequently experience a paradox. They are seen but not truly known. Their beauty may open doors, but it also invites assumptions, jealousy, and unrealistic expectations. That's why understanding and embracing beauty beyond appearance becomes an act of liberation, empowerment, and divine healing. When a woman is constantly praised for how she looks, it's easy for her to begin tying her worth to her reflection. But what happens when time passes, trends shift, or the spotlight dims? If her identity was built on appearance alone, she may find herself empty, confused, or searching for deeper meaning. That is why beauty beyond appearance is not a rejection of physical grace. It's an expansion of identity, a reminder that her soul, spirit, and heart are where her truest beauty lives. Some of the most radiant women in history were not remembered for their physical perfection, but for their resilience, and their compassion, and their unwavering sense of purpose. They carried a glow that came not from makeup or mirrors, but from walking in truth, grace, and divine purpose. This kind of beauty cannot be sold, imitated, or diminished. It is eternal, and it comes from God. Divine healing plays a central role in unlocking this inner beauty. Many women carry hidden scars, times when they were judged by their looks, objectified, or dismissed. Perhaps they were told they were too much, or not enough. These wounds run deep, often shaping how they see themselves and what they believe they deserve. But when divine healing enters, it rewrites that story. It whispers, "You are more than what the world sees. You are my masterpiece." To experience beauty beyond appearance, a woman must first let go of the need to be constantly validated by others. She must look inward and upward, recognizing that her greatest worth lies in being a daughter of the Most High. She begins to nourish her soul with truth, to feed her mind with wisdom, and align her heart with divine love. Slowly but surely her glow becomes undeniable, not because she conforms to the world's standards, but because she radiates authenticity and purpose. This kind of beauty moves people. It inspires, uplifts, and draws others in with a magnetic force that has nothing to do with symmetry or fashion. It's the beauty of a woman who listens with empathy, speaks with conviction, and lives with courage. It's the beauty of someone who has been through the fire but emerged refined, not destroyed. Someone who doesn't just walk into a room but changes the atmosphere with her presence. Real-life examples are everywhere. Think of the woman who overcomes heartbreak but still chooses to love. The mother who sacrifices daily and still smiles with joy. The leader who holds her values in a world that pressures compromise. These women may or may not fit conventional standards of attractiveness, but their beauty leaves a permanent mark on everyone they touch. If you are a woman who has ever felt reduced to your appearance, know this: your outer beauty is a gift, but your inner beauty is your power. You protect it. Let it shine. Don't just be seen. Be known for the depth of your soul, the fire in your faith, and the strength of your character. This is a call to rise, not just in looks, but in spirit. Speak the word "Lord," and let the healing begin. Discover the beauty that no camera can capture and no critic can diminish. You are more than attractive. You are divine. Let the world see the light within. Emotional growth in attractive women is a powerful and often overlooked journey. Society tends to focus so heavily on physical beauty that it forgets the deep emotional layers that exist behind the surface. Attractive women are frequently placed on pedestals, admired, envied, and sometimes misunderstood. But with great attention often comes great pressure. And that pressure becomes the catalyst for either emotional suppression or emotional growth. The choice depends on the path a woman chooses, and many choose growth. Being attractive in a world obsessed with image can become both a blessing and a test. People project expectations onto you. Some think you have an easier life, that opportunities are handed to you, that you've never known rejection or hardship, but the truth is often the opposite. Attractive women are more likely to be objectified, underestimated, or seen as threats by others. These experiences can lead to deep emotional wounds, confusion about identity, and battles with self-worth. Yet, in these exact struggles, the seeds of emotional growth are planted. Emotional growth begins when a woman refuses to be defined by how others perceive her. She starts to ask herself real questions: who am I beyond the compliments? What do I value when no one is watching? What do I need to heal from? These questions strip away the superficial and invite her to confront her true self. This journey is not easy, but it is sacred. There comes a time in the life of every beautiful woman when she realizes that external admiration is fleeting, but internal peace is eternal. That's when the transformation begins. She begins to set boundaries. She learns to say no to relationships that only want her for her looks. She chooses depth over validation. She seeks spiritual connection over worldly applause, and through that, her soul starts to shine in ways that no physical beauty ever could. This kind of emotional growth is guided by faith. When an attractive woman turns to God for her identity, she discovers a love that isn't based on her reflection, but on her essence. She begins to see herself as a vessel of purpose, not an ornament for display. This divine perspective becomes her anchor. It grounds her when the world tries to pull her into vanity or performance. It heals her when the criticism or envy of others tries to break her. Real emotional growth means developing emotional intelligence, knowing when to speak and when to listen, how to confront pain with grace, how to forgive without losing self-respect, and how to walk away without bitterness. These are the quiet victories that don't make headlines but change lives. These are the qualities that turn an admired woman into a wise woman, a light for others who may be silently battling the same storms. There are countless real-world examples. Consider the actress who walked away from fame to protect her mental health, the model who used her platform to speak out about depression, the entrepreneur who turned down opportunities that didn't align with her integrity. These women are not just attractive, they are emotionally evolved. They have faced the pressure, the projections, the pain, and turned it all into power. So if you are a woman who is praised for your beauty but struggling beneath the surface, know this: you are not alone. Your emotional growth matters. Your journey matters. You are more than how you look. You are who you choose to become. This is your invitation to rise. Don't let the world reduce you to your outer shell. Let your story be one of healing, depth, and spiritual transformation. Speak the word, Lord, into your soul. Claim your divine identity. Grow not just in appearance, but in spirit, in strength, and in truth. That is the beauty the world needs now more than ever. Spiritual empowerment of women is not just a concept. It is a living, a breathing transformation that touches every corner of a woman's life, especially for those who are often defined first by their physical appearance. In a world that constantly measures a woman's worth by her attractiveness, the path to true empowerment lies in connecting with something deeper, more eternal: her spirit. When an attractive woman discovers her spiritual power, she is no longer just seen, she is felt. Her presence changes rooms not because of how she looks, but because of the divine authority she walks in. Being attractive often comes with assumptions. People may believe life is easier, doors are always open, and love is always accessible. But beneath the surface, many attractive women face isolation, misjudgment, and constant pressure to meet unrealistic expectations. This can lead to self-doubt and emotional exhaustion. However, spiritual empowerment becomes the bridge between identity and authenticity. It becomes the anchor in a sea of opinions, teaching a woman to rise not just in beauty, but in purpose. A spiritually empowered woman knows her beauty is not her power. Her soul is. She understands that physical attractiveness is temporary, but a heart connected to divine truth is eternal. She begins to walk differently, not for attention, but with intention. Her choices reflect a higher calling, not a cultural trend. She listens not to the noise of society, but to the whispers of her Creator. And from this sacred place, she reclaims her narrative. This journey is not always smooth. Many attractive women are tempted to rely solely on charm, applause, and external validation. But that path leads to emptiness. Real spiritual empowerment requires a stripping away of false identities. It demands prayer, self-reflection, healing from past wounds, and a return to the truth of who she really is. And when she gets there, when she stands in the truth of her worth, not because of admiration, but because of divine affirmation, she becomes unshakable. Faith plays a vital role in this process. The more attractive a woman is, the more she is likely to experience both opportunities and temptations. But with faith she gains discernment. She sees through manipulation. She recognizes false flattery. She stops performing and starts living. Her confidence no longer comes from compliments, but from communion with God. She speaks life. She walks in peace. She becomes a warrior in heels, not fighting for approval, but standing for purpose. Spiritual empowerment also means lifting other women. An empowered woman doesn't compete. She collaborates, she mentors, encourages, and loves without fear. She knows that another woman's beauty or success does not diminish her own. This spiritual maturity breaks generational cycles of envy and replaces them with unity. It transforms relationships, families, and communities. There are countless stories of women who have walked this path. From public figures who left fame to follow a higher calling, to everyday women who stepped away from toxic environments to protect their peace. Each story is a testimony of God's power to elevate a woman beyond her reflection. These women are not just attractive, they are anointed. They carry light, truth, and purpose wherever they go. So to every woman listening, you are more than your beauty. You are a vessel of divine power. Your spirit is not limited by how others see you. It is defined by who God says you are. This is your time to rise, not just in image, but in identity. Speak the word, Lord, over your life. Embrace your spiritual empowerment. Let it guide you, heal you, and use you. You are not just beautiful. You are chosen. You are powerful. You are enough. And when you walk in your spiritual truth, the world doesn't just notice, you change it. In a world saturated with filters, beauty standards, and curated perfection, being an attractive woman can sometimes feel more like a burden than a blessing. Society constantly celebrates physical beauty, placing it on a pedestal, as if it is the sole measure of a woman's value. But beneath the admiration and attention, many attractive women find themselves grappling with an invisible weight. The pressure to maintain that image, to meet expectations, and to live up to an ideal that often has nothing to do with who they truly are. Overcoming the pressure of beauty begins with understanding that external appearance is not a woman's true power. The world may be drawn to the surface, but the soul, resilient, authentic, and grounded in faith, is what sustains a woman through the storms of life. An attractive woman may be more likely to face judgment, envy, and unwanted attention, but she is also positioned to challenge and redefine what it means to be truly beautiful. The pressure can start early. From childhood, compliments that focus only on looks condition girls to believe their worth is in their face or figure. As they grow older, this can evolve into anxiety, fear of aging, and an unhealthy attachment to perfection. Social media amplifies the pressure, making it feel like there's a spotlight on her every moment. But the truth is, beauty is fleeting. What lasts is the spirit within, the character shaped by trials, the faith refined by fire, the compassion forged in silence. Real healing begins when a woman stops striving to be seen and starts seeking to be whole. The Word of God says, "Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." This verse is a lifeline. It reminds every woman that her identity is not in her reflection, but in her relationship with the one who created her. She doesn't need to perform. She doesn't need to be perfect. She only needs to be present, grounded in truth and walking in purpose. There are women who have broken free from this pressure. They stopped chasing approval and started embracing authenticity. They let go of toxic relationships that only valued them for their appearance. They stopped compromising their values for the sake of admiration. Instead, they leaned into prayer, community, and spiritual growth. They began to believe they were beautiful because they were loved by God, not because the world clapped for them. Faith becomes the foundation for overcoming the pressure of beauty. When a woman believes she is fearfully and wonderfully made, she no longer needs validation from others. She finds confidence in her calling, not in her contour. She understands that true radiance flows from peace, purpose, and alignment with the divine. Her glow comes from within. This shift is powerful. It liberates a woman to use her beauty as a platform for truth, not for ego. It transforms her from a passive object desire into an active vessel of influence. She begins to inspire others not because of how she looks, but because of how she lives, with courage, grace, and conviction. To the woman overwhelmed by the pressure of beauty, breathe. You don't have to carry it anymore. You were not created to be a decoration. You were designed to be a force. Let go of the lie that you must always impress. Instead, you embrace the truth that you are already enough. Speak the word over your life and let divine healing wash away the fear, the doubt, and the shame. Rise up in your full beauty, not the kind the world worships, but the kind that heaven recognizes. You are seen. You are chosen. You are so much more than a pretty face. You are a warrior, a light, and a testimony in motion.